Here talking with junior Alicia Breen, who was just awarded the GNAC Player of the Week for the first time in her career. Last week in the Yellow Jackets had two games. They played number 3 Cal Baptist and Academy of Art in the tournament. Let's talk a little bit about the first game, Cal Baptist. You guys were up by 2 at halftime and then kind of fell apart in the second half. Tell me about some of the good things that happened and some of the takeaways from that game.
That game, we had, like you said, a lot of ups and downs, but I think we came out and we knew they were going to be a great team, and I think we really stepped up to the plate, especially in the first half. We were down early, but we clawed our way back in. We fought hard. We definitely played the way we wanted to play, and we kind of took them out of their element a little bit in the first half, at least. Second half came around, and they had a really strong post, and she definitely established herself in the second half in the paint, and then we were forced to collapse onto her, and she was able to find shooters, and that's kind of their bread and butter is they move the ball so fast and they have so many good shooters that they got really hot really quick, and before we knew it, we were down by double digits, and it happened really fast. But I think for us, to see that style of play and to realize that we can play with that for a half, we can play with it for 2 halves. We just have to stay true to what our coaches want us to do and what we've been practicing and not get out of our own element.
And then the second game was against Academy of Art, who you beat in the first round of the West Region Tournament 2 years ago. This time it was a buzzer beater that went to Academy of Art's way. You had 37 points, a new record in free throws with 19. Talk about your performance and the overall game, which was a great basketball game.
It was a really good basketball game, 2 teams that both deserved to win. As for myself, I give it to my team. I mean, Monica, I know it said she only had 5 assists, but I think she passed me the ball every time. We found a play that worked, and we stuck with it, and they just didn't make an adjustment. And I give a lot of the credit to all the wing players and Riley for feeding me the ball. I mean, they thread the needle and led me right to the basket. And as for the free throws, I mean, that's something that Coach instills in us that we practice every day. They're free. You got to make them. And if they're going to foul you, I mean, you got to take it away. So, but Academy of Art was a good team. They were really fast, and that was different. We're kind of a bigger, stronger team, matched up with a bunch of little quick guards. 2 of those guards, I think, played when I was a freshman, and I think they actually took the final shot against us down in Pomona, and it just didn't fall their way, and this time it did. I give them credit. They ran, their play to a T. It's just the way it kind of happens sometimes.
So even though you start out the year 0-2, some good basketball experience. Not going to get any easier this week as you head to Cal Poly Pomona, who you played in the championship game of the West Region Tournament, and then you're going to play San Bernardino a day later. Talk a little bit about what the team is working on this week.
Consistency, I think, is a huge key for us. We still have a lot of ebbs and flows during a game. When we can find that consistency when we're all playing together, sharing the ball, will be really tough to beat. So this week, and we have some dry spells offensively that we just can't manage to put the ball in the basket. So we put up a lot of shots this week and for the rest of the week before we leave. Again, they're going to be athletic teams, so defensively we're going to try to keep them out of the paint, play our game, and not let their up-tempo play get us out of sorts.
Thanks, Alisha, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm talking with MSUB women's basketball player Tiana Hansen. You're a junior this year, but this is the first year with the Yellow Jacket program. Talk a little bit about the last few weeks and then opening week with the Jackets.
It's definitely different, just trying to adjust to the new players and the new coaches and everything. It's definitely a different level of play at D2, but I'm grateful that I was able to play at the junior college level to get some experience. But I'm just hoping that as the season goes on, that all of us will improve and that we'll be a better team.
And you're from Shepherd, Montana, which is just outside of Billings. I bet your family's pretty happy to see you play.
Yes, they are, and all of my friends too. I had a couple friends come home from college and they were home for the weekend and they came to my game. Then my grandparents and then just my parents and my little brother, they were all able to come too.
So last week you lost both games on Friday and Saturday, but I bet you got some good experience. Talk a little bit about some of the takeaways from those two.
Well, we definitely have moved in the right direction. Like, we've gotten better since our very first game against Rocky, but there's definitely more things that we can improve on. And so I mean, we lost those 2 games, but they were good teams, and we didn't exactly play our best, but we are playing better each game.
So now that you're with MSU Billings, you're going to be doing some traveling. This week you're going to be heading to California. I understand this is your first plane ride.
Yes, it is, and I'm pretty darn nervous for it too.
Well, it should be very exciting and very fun. You're going to get to play Cal Poly Pomona and San Bernardino. MSUB played them 2 years ago. Obviously, you weren't on the team then. But tell me some of the goals that the teams talked about this week.
I think just having disciplined defense is definitely a big point, and our shooting percentage hasn't been that great, so we're working on having more confidence in shooting so that we can knock down shots that we knocked down during practice but bring it to the game.
And talk about some of your individual goals for the season and for the upcoming week.
I'm hoping to just try to find my role on this team because it's different from year to year, and especially when you switch teams and switch programs. So I'm hoping to just find my role and then to just give as much effort as I can and hopefully be able to get some rebounds, get some good defensive stops, and score a few points, hopefully.
Thanks, Tiana. Talking with MSUB head coach Kevin Woodin. Kevin, the team had 2 really great basketball games last week against really top opponents. Talk about some of the takeaways from the game against Cal Baptist and Academy of Art.
Well, first and foremost, I think it was great to play 2 really good opponents. I think they're both going to be forces to reckon with in our region. We led Cal Bap by, I believe, 2 points at the first half, and then the second half just didn't shoot the ball very well and lost by double figures. And then I thought we played a pretty solid game against Academy of Art. Really, the last quarter just was back and forth, nip and tuck, and they ended up just getting us by a basket. So it was disappointing to lose both games, but I did see improvement in my team from the week before, and I think we still have a long ways to go, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
So some players came through for you, especially Alicia Breen against Academy of Art with the 37 points. Talk a little bit about Alicia and what she did for your team in that second game.
She played really well. I think she was a tough guard for them as far as matchups, as we had a hard time guarding their multiple perimeter driving type players, but Alicia took advantage of that. She was very good around the basket. She's so versatile, so she can score in a lot of areas, and she was able to draw fouls, and I think she was 19 of 21 from the free throw line, so that was a big part of her success. But I was pleased with her overall play on both ends of the floor in both games. I think she's really worked hard to improve, and was glad that she was recognized as the GNAC Player of the Week.
So this week, the schedule doesn't get any easier. You travel to California for 2 games. The first is against Cal Poly Pomona, who you lost to in the NCAA West Region Championship 2 years ago. Talk a little bit about heading to California and the matchup with Cal Poly.
Well, it'll be exciting to travel for the first time, especially for our new players. We're going to play a great program in Cal Poly Pomona. Has a strong tradition. Like you said, we were defeated in a close game 2 years ago in the regional championship by them. Both teams lost a lot of players to graduation since then. I know they're definitely a new look team. They lost, to Blackwell and then their guard that had started 3 years. So they're in I don't know if it's a rebuilding stage, but just in a different stage. And it'll be nice to get away from home and spend some time together as a team on the road. But hopefully we can come out on top. The second game is against the San Bernardino team that had an 18-9 record last year. Returns a lot of players. Just missed out on the getting into the regional. And we have never played them since I've been here anyway, so don't know a lot about it. Plus, they also have a first-year coach.
Talk a little bit about where your team is at. So in the first game against Cal Baptist, you had some good bench play. And then the second game, I think you only had 2 points from the bench. Talk a little bit about what you need the team to do in order to have a good performance this week.
I think we're just in a learning mode right now. Part of that, the second game, I didn't play the bench very much, especially in the second half. I thought we were making a run, and we saved some timeouts and used those through the fourth quarter. We went with pretty much the same 5 through most of the last 15 minutes of that second game. as far as where we're at, I think we're better defensively than we were a couple weeks ago, which is nice. I think we rebound the ball much better than we have in the last couple of years. Our challenges offensively, I felt in the second game we had too many unforced turnovers. And I think we had 19 total, and that needs to be trimmed down. I believe against Baptist we had 12 or 13, which is a better number for now. But I think we have to be better in our offensive 2-on-1, 3-on-2 opportunities. We had too many times when we had the advantage and we did not score. And then we just didn't shoot the ball very well, considering we had 3 games last week at home. And I did realize that this team is the younger and some players that haven't played in a long time. So I think we're getting pretty good shots, but I think we have to make a little extra effort to maybe make another pass and get a little better shot. But our shooting percentage, at least from the field, needs to come up as well.
And talk about any other goals that you have for the team for this week.
I think my goal for them this week is obviously just to compete. We want to improve. I sure hope that means that we can register a win or two, but then we come back home for 2 games Thanksgiving week, and then we open conference play. So we'll have 4 straight, I believe, and then a 5th game at home. So I really would hope that would be where we would start to get some momentum, and we'd like to get off to a great start in GNAC play in early December. But we're just going to work with some different lineups and get some people that haven't played a lot, hopefully, into the game and see what they can do. And then over the next couple of weeks, try to get a rhythm.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.